Hi everyone, this is William from the Headphone Experience. I'm here tonight with my first impressions of the Hifiman Svanar wireless earphones. And these were loaned to me for review by Hifiman, and they currently sell at $499. And these are a true wireless headphone. And each of these units basically has a Bluetooth receiver, an R2R DAC, a battery, a headphone amp, and headphone drivers all built into these. And then they come with a nice case. This is actually a charging case where you charge the case and then the case charges the earphones. But before I get into this review, just wanted to talk about a couple of things. And if you've been following my reviews over, how long have I been doing this? About 4.5 years now. Anyway, you probably noticed that I haven't done a lot of reviews on earphones, either earbuds or IEMs. And there's a reason for that, and the fact is I'm just really not crazy about either. I know they're hugely popular. I mean, a lot of reviewers, that's primarily what they review is IEMs, and there's a reason for their popularity is you get a lot for your money. But the fact is, and I'll start with earbuds, and by earbuds I mean an earphone that fits in your ear but isn't inserted into your ear canal, just kind of sits outside of your ear canal without actually sealing into, without a rubber tip that goes into your ear canal. So anyway, earbuds, the problem I have with them is I'm constantly messing with them, trying to get them into the right position for them to sound right. And if they're not in the right position, basically there's no bass. So I mess with them, finally get them in just the right place. And if I move, they usually come out of place. And maybe it's me, maybe it's my ears, but I just don't like earbuds for that reason. I'll get them sounding great and then I move around or just, bump the cable or something and move one of them and then they don't sound right. Then getting into IEMs, there's sort of a reason that I'm not crazy about IEMs, and there's no doubt about it. They can sound great. You can get an IEM for $100 that sounds like a $500 headphone. The problem I have, and once again, it's probably me, not the IEMs, but I just don't like anything inserted into my ear canal. It's just uncomfortable for me. I put in a set of IEMs and within 10-15 minutes it's actually irritating me, my ears start itching, and it's just uncomfortable, and I have a really hard time wearing a pair of IEMs for more than like 30 minutes. And they're great in so many ways. They seal out the outside noise, and if I didn't say it already, by IEMs I mean something with a earplug or a tip that is inserted into the ear canal and it creates a seal. And they can sound great, especially for the price, but they're just uncomfortable for me. And that's probably rare, but I have heard from other people that have the same problem. They just don't like anything inserted into their ear. So I'm doing good to get 30 minutes of listening time in on an IEM, and that's why I've had these for a while but haven't done my first impressions, because I listened to them for a little while, and just like every other IEM, it just starts irritating me. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with these, it's all IEMs do that to me, every one I've ever tried. So, and then my other problem is they can sound great as long as I get a proper seal. And usually the way I can tell is when they're properly sealed, it greatly reduces outside noise. It really cuts down on the noise in the room or whatever, and that's one of the great things about IEMs. But I oftentimes have a problem getting that proper seal. And, maybe I haven't taken the time to find the right ear tips or whatever, but, it's just aggravating to me. One time I'll put them right in and they'll seal right up and they sound great. The next time I just can't get them to seal right, and I'll either have no bass in both ears or no bass in one ear or whatever. Okay, and then also Bluetooth. I'm not a big fan of Bluetooth, and I know it's hugely popular, but and I don't know a lot about Bluetooth because I haven't reviewed a lot of Bluetooth equipment. I don't know much about the different codexes or whatever you call it, the different formats of it. But the reason I am not a big fan of Bluetooth and I much prefer wired is, to me, my experience of Bluetooth is it sounds a lot like MP3 files. And I'm talking about the better MP3 files, like 320 kilobytes per second. And my problem with MP3 files, and like I said, if you get into the better ones, a higher end at like 320 kilobytes, the music is all there. It sounds the same as a lossless file, except for one thing. And to me, it's lacking the spatial information. Somewhere they got rid of three-fourths of the file. And what I hear missing, to be honest, I have a very hard time telling the difference between a good MP3 recording and lossless until I listen for that spatial information. And basically by that what I mean is the perception of distance and depth and layering. And to me, MP3 files just sound really flat and one-dimensional, like the music's all on one plane. And you lose that depth and you lose that layering where different instruments sound a different distance. And because of that, I just very much prefer wired headphones. So I really haven't done much with Bluetooth either. So anyway, now that I've got that out of the way, and I'm going to tell you straight out, I don't have a lot of experience with this type of device, and I really don't have anything to compare it to. So my comparison is going to be, I'm going to compare the sound of these to the sound of full-size headphones and tell you what headphone I think they sound a lot like. And you're probably going to be surprised because it's a very good headphone I think these sound like. And I mean, I have absolutely no problem with the sound of these things. They sound great, other than that Bluetooth thing where they just seem to lack depth and that three-dimensional sound. But anyway, these are a wireless IEM, and they contain, each one of these has its own receiver, Bluetooth receiver, and its own DAC, and it is the Himalayan DAC from Hifiman. That is an R2R type DAC. It's the same technology like in the EF400 or EF5 or 600 amp. And I love the EF400 amp. It's a great amp. So, and then these have ANC, active noise canceling. And that actually is effective to the point, according to Hifiman, of a 35 decibel reduction in outside noise. These have 3 different modes, and you get to the 3 different modes by touching the left IM, and it's not really even a button. You can't see it, but you touch it, and you touch it. You hold your finger on it for 3 seconds, and you'll actually hear a voice that says ANC mode. If you touch it and hold it another 3 seconds, it'll switch over to active noise, or to actually the first mode. When you turn it on, it's in hi-fi mode. Then the first time you switch it, it goes to active noise canceling, and then it goes to something called transparency mode. And the runtime on these on a charge is supposed to be 4 hours in hi-fi mode, 6 hours in ANC, and 7 hours in transparent mode. Well, I definitely prefer the hi-fi mode. The hi-fi mode sounds really good, really dynamic, really punchy, where the transparency mode to me just sounds kind of flat and kind of boring. It just lacks the dynamics and just sounds thinner to me, and I don't really like it, but apparently they run longer. Okay, as far as the active noise canceling, I'm going to tell you that's another thing I have a problem with. I've only tested or reviewed a couple of active noise canceling headphones, and they were kind of lower end, and I didn't like the active noise canceling at all, but I just figured it was because they were low end headphones. Well, I've made a new discovery using these because I turned on the active noise canceling and I've got to turn it off in like 20 seconds. I can't stand it. And I don't know if anyone else, any of you have this problem. When I turn on the active noise canceling on this or some of the headphones I've tried before, I just instantly get a headache. I feel like my skull is pulsing in and out like that. I can't hear it. I can't hear the active noise canceling, but I feel like the sound, something is just like decreasing, increasing inside my head, and my head starts hurting in like 10 seconds, and I can't stand it. To me, it messes up the sound. It just doesn't sound as good. But once again, that's probably just me, but it's the reason that I don't do a lot of reviews of this type of equipment. Anyway, these use Bluetooth 5.2. They claim a range up to 15 meters. These also have a waterproof rating of IPX5, which means basically, it doesn't mean, I don't think you can submerge these, but they should be fine getting splashed or, being out in the rain, that sort of thing. I think I forget, IPX5 I think means they can be out in the rain or snow, whatever, but I don't think you can submerge them. So anyway, they come in this case, and this case has a plug on the back for a USB type C cable, and you plug this in and it charges the earphones. They just sit in here and the case charges them. And apparently the case has its own battery in it, so you can charge the case, and then the case, without plugging it in, will recharge the earphones 3 times, which is pretty cool. I'll roll in and show you these a little bit closer here, and you can also see the photo behind me. These, I think the back of these is aluminum, and then the inside, the black part there, is a carbon fiber, I believe. And also show you the box that came in here. They come in a nice box, but down in the bottom here, if you can see it, there's a bunch of extra ear tips that you can, should be able to find something that fits you right. So anyway, getting into the sound. And like I said earlier, with IEMs, a lot of times have problems getting them to fit correctly. And I used these several times and had no problems getting the proper seal and the right fit, and they sounded great. The last time I tried them, for some reason, I was having trouble getting a seal in my right ear. And usually with IEMs that are smaller, I can just push them in a little bit further, but because of the design of these and that little wing on it, you can only push it in so far, and I was having trouble getting a proper seal. And I went through some of the other ear tips in here, but none of them were larger. I think the ones that came on it were the largest, and once again, I was having a hard time getting a proper seal, but it was only in my right ear. But I've tried these probably half a dozen times, and the other times I didn't. So my assessment of the sound here is going to be based on having a proper seal, because if you don't, they have no bass. But that's the way all IEMs are. If you don't have a tight seal, you're not going to have any bass. So anyway, assuming they have a tight seal. Like I said, these things sound like a really good headphone. The tone balance, I would call it slightly V-shaped, a little bit of emphasis in the bass, a little bit of emphasis in the treble. They have very good extension into the sub bass. The bass is tight, it's well controlled, and it's dynamic and it's punchy. These things have really good bass. The mid-range vocals have a nice warm rich sound to them. The treble is very clean, very detailed. It has a very nice sparkle to it. The clarity and detail of these things is outstanding. They're as clear and detail as pretty much any headphone that I've listened to. The sound stage is actually surprisingly wide and wider than any IEM, and I don't have a lot of experience with IEMs once again, but the few that I have listened to, these just have a wider sound stage. It's really good. The imaging is good. The separation between instruments is excellent. So I'm going to tell you what headphone I think these sound like. These have a very similar sound, in my opinion, and that's if I've got them, inserted properly and fitting right, to the Hifiman Aria Stealth. So we're talking a headphone that used to be $1,600. I forget what that's selling for now. I think $999. So you're looking at the sound of the best $1,000 headphone that I know of for $499. So it sounds like a lot of money, but you are getting really, really good sound. These have the bass, the treble, the detail, everything of the Aria Stealth, in my opinion. That's what they sound the most like. I almost was going to say they sound like the HE1000 Stealth, but I don't think they're quite there. But I do think they're better than the Ananda Stealth. So I would put these, the sound quality of these earphones right there about where the Aria Stealth is for half the price. So anyway, they're the only things I don't like about them, and like I said, I'm just not crazy about IEMs, I'm not crazy about Bluetooth, I definitely don't like active noise canceling, but so the Bluetooth thing, like I said, I feel that they lose a little bit of the depth and three-dimensional sound that something wired would have. The ANC, active noise canceling, gives me a huge headache, but that's probably just me. I don't think there's anything wrong with the earphones. And these do sound best in the hi-fi mode. They just sounded a little flat and lacking dynamics in the transparency mode, which for some reason has longer battery life, but maybe that's why. Maybe it's lowering the power of the amp to save battery life. So anyway, I don't really have anything I can compare these to, so I'm not sure which direction I'm going to go with my final review of these. I will spend some more time listening to these, but once again, I'm limited to about 30 minutes is all my ears can handle. So I'm going to have to kind of think about this, which direction I'm going with my full review. But I will put together a full review. It's probably going to be a month or so down the line and get back to you. But if you want an IEM that does everything, a true wireless IEM that sounds great, like I said, these sound like a $1,000 pair of Hifiman Aria Stealths, and to me, in my opinion, that's the best $1,000 headphone out there. So you can't go wrong with the sound. And they're not my cup of tea just because they're an IEM. I'm a full-size headphone guy. I like full-size headphones. I like big desktop amps. I love tube amps. I love big dacs. I'm not into portables. I'm not into IEMs. I'm not into earbuds, but these things do sound good. So that's about all I can tell you. Is I can't compare them and say how they sound compared to other devices that are similar, but if you're looking for an IEM that sounds similar to an ARIA Stealth full-size headphone, this is the way to go. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. Once again, this is William from the Headphone Experience. If this video has helped you, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the Headphone Experience on Facebook, or join, not subscribe, join if you haven't already. It's up to, how many? Up to almost 26,000 members, just keeps growing. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I guess that's what I was trying to say, go ahead and do that. Always use more subscribers. So anyway, once again, thanks for watching my video.